Hey, what's up you guys, it's Caboose XP. I'll bring you another Injustice 2 video, and today what I got for you guys is potentially a tease towards Starfire maybe being DLC in Injustice 2. Now before we jump into this topic, I just wanted to ask you guys if you can leave a like rating on this video. It shows your support and I would really appreciate it. Thank you to all the newcomers on the channel, lots of new people joining in and watching the content, and I really do appreciate your support. And to all the newcomers, welcome, hope you guys are enjoying the content. But yeah, if you could leave a like on this video, that would be awesome. Now with that out of the way, let's jump into the topic at hand and let's talk about the possibility that Starfire was maybe teased as DLC in Injustice 2. So for those of you who may not know, just this past Thursday there was an Injustice 2 event in Los Angeles in which a lot of content creators and a lot of media got to go to the event, record some footage for Injustice 2, play the game for almost 4 hours, and get to meet Ed Boon and Tyler Lansdowne, developers working at NetherRealm Studios on Injustice 2. Now, during this event, Grace Randolph, who has recently been covering Injustice 2 a lot on her channel, in which she's been doing a lot of reactions to the trailers, got to interview Ed Boon and ask him specifically at one point in the interview about Injustice 2's DLC. Now, if you want to watch the full interview in its entirety, it's going to be linked in the description. However, what I'm going to be talking about for the purposes of this video is Ed Boon possibly teasing that Starfire could indeed be DLC. So Grace asked him about DLC in Injustice 2 and mentioned fan favorites like Zatanna, Batgirl, and Starfire, and whether or not those three characters would show up as DLC in the game. Now Ed Boon responded in saying that Zatanna and Batgirl were already characters that were DLC in Injustice Gods Among Us, so there's definitely not a chance there that those characters are going to come back as DLC again. I highly doubt NetherRealm's going to make people pay for the same two DLC characters a second time around. However, he completely dodges the question of Starfire and instead just says the same thing that he said before in a previous video I made, in which he mentions that there are going to be fan favorite characters as DLC for those 9 characters that we're going to get in Injustice 2. So it's almost as if he's basically saying here, listen, I can't really say specifically, yes, Starfire is going to be DLC. However, he is almost acknowledging, yes, Starfire is a fan favorite. Tons of people are requesting him all over the Injustice 2 community, and he is mentioning here and reiterating again that we are most likely going to be seeing some of those fan favorites, some of those highly requested characters as DLC. Now, I know some people out there are going to say, well, Caboose, I don't really think that he was teasing Starfire. It doesn't really look like that. It seems like he's just dodging the question, and that definitely could be true. There are instances like this in which developers are not even allowed to say, no, the character's not going to be in the game, because then that just ruins the suspense. So even if Starfire wasn't going to be DLC, Ed Boon can't really sit there and say, no, she's not going to be DLC, because they want that conversation among the community, and they want people to keep guessing, like, is this character going to be DLC? Is this character going to be DLC? So then they can keep talking about the game, and it's basically like micro marketing. You know, people are marketing the game for them in a way. So that's why he can't really say like, no, Starfire won't be DLC. However, from an outside perspective, let's talk about an educated guess as to why Starfire will be DLC in Injustice 2. Now, all credits goes to the Reddit user Yugme. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. I apologize if I'm butchering it, but all credit goes to this user, as the information that I'm about to present to you here comes from that Reddit user in a Reddit post that they put on the Injustice subreddit. So let's go back all the way to June of 2016. Ed Boon tweeted out a Twitter poll asking people who they wanted to see most in Injustice 2. Now on that Twitter poll consisted of 3 characters, being Blue Beetle, Captain Cold, and Swamp Thing. With over 18,000 votes, Blue Beetle ended up winning the poll, but it was fairly close. And we do now know that at this point, all 3 of those characters ended up making it into the Injustice 2 roster. Now we go forward 2 months, and in August, Ed Boon tweets out once again. This time he says, okay, quote unquote, just for fun, Injustice 2, who do you want to see most? And on this list this time, he has Constantine, Starfire, and Black Manta. Now, Starfire actually ended up winning this poll, and Ed Boon did a follow-up tweet in which he said, poll results. So you guys really want to see Starfire in Injustice 2. Duly noted. Now, I know Ed Boon sometimes can be a bit of a tease, and sometimes he likes to troll the community. However, if we take into a factor what he's saying here, in that the people have spoken, they want to see Starfire in Injustice 2, and then we look at what he is saying now in this interview with Grace Randolph, and what he said on the DC All Access livestream, in which he mentioned that some of the DLC characters are going to be fan favorites, highly requested characters, I think it is almost a certainty that Starfire is going to be DLC in Injustice 2. To be quite honest, it is all but confirmed at this point, in my opinion. Maybe some of you guys might disagree, but I think looking at the terrain that we have here, looking at some of the evidence that we have here, I think it is almost a certainty, and it is all but confirmed that Starfire is going to be one of the DLC characters of the 9 DLC that we get in Injustice 2, which does make me really happy. A lot of people have been asking for this character, and she is an awesome character, and it adds more female characters to the Injustice 2 roster, which I felt the roster was lacking quite a bit. So I am really glad if this does end up being the case, and to be quite honest, looking at the evidence that we have here, it does look like it is going to be the case. But with all that said, let me know what you guys think. What do you think about the possibility of Starfire being DLC in Injustice 2? Do you think there is a much higher possibility now that I've presented to you the evidence that I have here, or do you still think it's not going to happen? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. I'm Caboose XBL, and once again, if you can leave a like rating on this video, it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.